Hey, it's Duncan MacPherson with Pareto Systems from the field. I'm at the Westin Kierlands in the library, one of the more impressive whiskey selections in the world. I'm partial to Bowmore from Islay, but there's many other great brands here. But that's what I'm going to talk about that today. I just got in from Denver, speaking with an advisor who was talking about time management and how to become more efficient. And I said to him, I think it's probably more appropriate to talk about time allocation. How do you allocate your time? Because it's finite. So I said, how many clients do you have? And he said, oh, about 300. I said, wow. I said, what do you think your natural capacity is? And he said, oh, probably about 150. I said, okay. So I'm going to assume, I said, does 80% of your business come from about 20% of your clients? And he said, yeah, about that. I said, so you have 60 clients who carry the freight. I said, are you competitor proofing and replicating those clients? And ultimately what it comes down to is this. I said, look, you have to invest 80% of your time on the 20% of the clients who generate 80% of the business. That's where you have to start. And, you know, there are people who need you and there are people who deserve you, but you can't spend time with people who need you at the expense of the people who deserve you. People who deserve you are the people who bring the lion's share of value to your life and your business. So, you know, ultimately what it comes down to is the concept of right-sizing. But the problem for many advisors is they're good people and they care and there's nostalgia and they really, you know, these people have been with them for a long time. They're tough to disassociate from. So here's where I'd ask you to start. And by the way, it's not about firing clients. It's about respectfully disassociating when there's not a good fit. So let's look at it this way. The correlation between how much money you manage and how many relationships you manage is huge. When it comes to relationships, the goal is not to see how big you can get, it's how small you can stay. Okay, so fair enough. What I'd ask you to do is create an ideal client profile. Who are you suited for? Who is your ideal client? Frame it with AAA, based on assets and the alignment of interest, attitudinal qualities and the compatibility, and advocacy, based on multi-generation, continuity, succession, family investment, legacy, and so on. Okay, just start there. Get that out of your head. And then soft launch. Sit down with all of your 20% over the next 90 days with an agenda and add a bullet that says my evolution. And simply say at that bullet in the meeting, just simply say, can I just take a moment and explain how I'm going to be raising the bar and elevating the way I do things? And then just talk about your past, talk about the present, talk about the future. Okay, so just simply say, look, in the beginning, I'd work with anybody. I mean, if they could fog a mirror, if they had a pulse, I'd take them on as a client. If they'd have me, I'll take them. Today, I'm at a point of diminishing returns. I've got too many clients. So going forward, instead of being all things to all people, I'm going to be all things to some people. Now, ultimately what this means is, as you know, we only accept new clients who are introduced to us, but often we get introduced to someone who wants to become a client and they're not a good fit. And so what I'm doing is I'm telling my clients that if they introduce someone to me, there's no expectation they need to become a client to use me as a sounding board. If they want to become a client, it's got to be a good fit based on this ideal client profile. Just start there. Now, what's interesting is many clients in their inside voice instantly start thinking about, how does this affect me? They don't necessarily say that, but one of their concerns is that maybe you're getting ready to fire this client. And that's not obviously what's happening. What you're doing is you're just planting a seed. You're priming the pump. You're projecting some scarcity. You're reminding them that they belong to something that's important and meaningful, and that going forward, you're not going to be a mile wide and an inch deep. This is absolutely a rock solid way to start. Now, in your next strategy and tactical meeting, you can then tell your 20% that building on that AAA, you're actually going to go through an exercise of right sizing, where clients that you have today who are not a good fit, you feel you're actually doing them a disservice by keeping them, you're going to introduce them to another advisor to liberate you to offer more meaningful, elevated service to the clients who are a good fit. Now here's the benefit. Your ability to competitor proof those 20% goes up dramatically. Your ability to become more referable to the 20% goes up, because they start to realize how introducing one of their peers will ultimately come back to reflect on them. Hey, a top client, it's easy for them to refer someone to you. The problem is it's easier not to. And if they're concerned about how it's ultimately going to reflect back on them, they're not going to make the introduction. But as you gradually narrowcast and right size, your ability to create advocacy with the 20% goes up. So be gradual, be incremental, be respectful, take the high road. You're doing someone a disservice by keeping them if they're not a good fit. Articulate that and watch your advocacy for the people who deserve you go up dramatically. This is Duncan MacPherson from the field. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.